I'ma just jump right into the story. I was up at 3 a.m. doing who knows what, but I got tired and wanted to go to sleep already. I got up to go use the restroom when I heard my dogs barking in the living room. I told them to quiet down, thinking they were barking because they heard me come out of the room. I go to the bathroom and do my stuff, and as I'm walking back to my room, I just had the urge to go into the living room. I saw my dogs now crying and shaking. Then I noticed the TV was on, but it was just static playing on the TV. I was caught off guard because I knew I didn't turn on the TV. I was a little weirded out, but I didn't think much of it. I walked to my room and I close and lock my door. I've never done that, but something in my gut told me to do it. I go to lay on my bed, and a few minutes pass by, and I hear the door jiggle, and then a knock comes after it. It's my mom, and she asks me if I went outside earlier. I said no, and her face dropped. I asked what was wrong, and she didn't answer. A few days after that whole incident happened, she finally told me and my sister what had happened. She said she was woken up by a noise, and my mum is not the type of person to hear something and just leave it alone. She said that when she went to check what the noise was, the back door was wide open and our outside dog was at the corner of our backyard crying. Later on, I found out a woman committed suicide in the home after her girlfriend left her to go back with her ex-husband. Both the lady and her girlfriend used to host dog fights with mainly pit bulls in the backyard. After that incident, more things started happening. We thought she was a friendly ghost because she wasn't causing us any harm. But later on, she tried to. One night, my family was staying over, and my aunt woke up to her son crying and running around saying a lady was trying to choke him. Another incident that happened to my cousin. She said she woke up one night and was facing the closet, and she said she saw a girl with long black hair just sitting in the closet. She thought she was still a bit sleepy, so she turned her back to the closet. She had her eyes closed, and a few moments later she said she saw the girl sitting next to her on the floor looking at her. She would also do little things like open cabinets or open doors. But those two main incidents just made us realize that she was not a friendly ghost and could be something more than a ghost. I have more encounters that I can write an entire book on, but these experiences are from one of the houses that I've lived in that were haunted. This happened about 2 years ago, so not that long ago. Me, my brother, and one of my friends was at my old house, and we decided that we would go to the school. It was only 3 roads away, and it would be empty, so we decided to just walk instead of getting a ride. We've done it before, so no big deal. Well, this time, when we were walking, we saw this man walk past us from a bush to the other side of the road and into another bush across the road right in front of us. We thought it was weird, but we just shook it off and kept walking. Then we get to almost the end of the second road and we see the same man again do the same exact thing, not even looking at us again. Right in front of us, he went from bush on one side to the bush on the other side. This time we check, and he was gone. But we all saw him and made sure we did. We picked up our feet and walked faster, but not enough to be suspicious if it was a stalker. He'd only chase us if we ran. We kept going towards the school. It had cameras, and it would be less suspicious and safer to turn back and go back home because of how close we was to the school. Closer to the school than home. We saw the school ahead on the 3rd Street and started to calm down, until before we got to the school, he passed us once more, right in front of us, bush to bush. We didn't even look this time for safety, and walked faster. When we got to the school, we went to the playground right away, so cameras could see. We was going to just talk about stuff, but now we had to talk about that. We thought it could be a ghost because it disappeared, but then we thought it could also be a stalker, hiding in the bushes, and waiting for us to walk by to move to the other bushes that was all connected. After calming down and waiting for it to be safer, which took an hour or 2 or maybe 3, We lost track of time while calming down. When we finally got the courage to head back, he was there in every place again, every bit of the bushes. This time, when we got to the 3rd street, I looked back. I wish I didn't. I saw him down the dark road that went past the 2nd street. Just sitting there, I told the others, and we ran the rest of the way home and didn't go to the school for days or weeks even. I'll never forget it. How I knew it was him is he hand on one of those yellow raincoats you see 6 wearing from Little Nightmares, colors and everything. My friends and I enjoy mountain biking. There is this one mountain bike trail near our homes on the mountain near us, which was the very first trail we ever rode. Not riding the trail in 2-3 years, I decided to go on the hike with my bike up this trail to bring back my very first mountain bike memory. Not to mention, this mountain is a smaller mountain with some houses at the top. As a result, sometimes you can hear construction or lawnmowers echoing down the mountain. On this day, I could hear what sounded like a lawnmower, but as I hiked farther up the steep biker trail slope, the sound sounded much closer, like a lot closer, to the point where it sounded like someone was mowing their lawn about 50 yards from me, despite the fact that there wasn't another house for a couple miles up the mountain. I get to a steep clearing, and what I saw confused me. There was a small trail loop around the MTB trail that was quite small. I couldn't remember much about it, except that it was a very small loop. But not once would I ever have thought that I would see a gang of people driving ATVs on this small trail. I got super freaked out that I had somehow crossed into someone's property, so I did a quick 180 and rode down the trail. I texted my friend about the incident, and we were thinking that we must have rode on a different trail the first time we went mountain biking, and that I discovered some sort of ATV trail. I checked Google Maps, and just as I thought, not a single house for miles near this area. The next day, we decided to hike up the trail to check out where these guys were driving ATVs, and what we discovered next was the most odd thing I have ever seen. And that thing was nothing. There was not a single trace that people had been up there any time recently. Also, there was no way there was even room to ride an ATV here. But even more weird, there was no way to even get an ATV here in the first place. As we walked around, we found one piece of evidence that I wasn't tripping, and that was a series of tracks that spanned about 10 feet with large ATV wheels. There was no sign that an ATV entered or left this area. I have no idea how to explain this. I thought there had to be an explanation, but there just wasn't. The way we came up was tough as it was, and there were mountain bike drops that were anywhere from 1 to 4 feet high. No way an ATV is driving up a 90-degree slope. No way. Where did these guys come from? How did they get 200 Lotl B plus ATVs in this area? Makes no sense. I am an Indian, and our village is in Rajasthan. Now, Rajasthan is a state with desert, and my village was like only a large-scale open land with very less vegetation. I was born in city, but we used to go to village frequently. My family was very conscious not to let me forget our roots. So as we used to visit the village frequently, I had many friends there, and we used to play on the open vast land in evenings before dark, as it is hot in the day and dangerous at night. Danger from not only animals and evil humans, but from some creepy creatures too, and I encountered one. So it was a normal evening. Me, my cousin, and my friends were playing, and obviously when you play with your friends, you tend to shout and make noise. So when it was dark, we all went to bed. I woke up by some clicking sound. It was annoying. I became fascinated by it and woke my cousin up, who was asleep right next to me, and asked him what was it. He had no idea, so I asked him that we should go out and see what it is. He was elder to me, and being a village boy, that going out at night following something strange was not a good idea. So we just went towards the main gate of the house and sat there listening to the sound. Now this clicking was not a sound of something, but someone was making this clicking sound with its tongue. We were trying to listen, as the sound felt like going slowly away from us. As we were trying hard to listen, Suddenly there was a scream followed with my voice calling my cousin Jagdish, like I call him while we are playing, from side of our house. We both freaked out and ran where elders were sleeping. We all were sleeping together in open. The adults already awake by listening the scream. My uncles made all of us sit together and pray after telling us that this is a creature known as Chalava. People living in village have encountered it a few times. Nobody ever saw what it looks like because its true body was not known to anybody. They either copy your voice, something similar to Skinwalker, or copy your body, something similar to Doppelganger, even though you can distinguish the person and the creature, as it feels like it has worn a suit similar to your body, naked. So yeah, me and our family just sat down and prayed while listening to a creature screaming my cousin brother's name in my voice.